Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Midwest Picker here. Man, it's been a long time since I made a video. I've been so busy. Life, full-time job, reselling. My videos have kind of taken a downturn in the frequency. Hope you stick around and stay subscribed. I'm trying to make Midwest Picker stories. If you don't know what those are, there's a link down below for those. Those are true stories, really cool. And then this is a reselling video. So what this is a what sold on eBay video. Before I get into that, my name is Dave. I'm a full-time RN, full-time husband, father, part-time reseller, mostly eBay, a little bit of Facebook Marketplace now. I dabbled in Macari, don't do much with that anymore, and a part-time YouTube content creator. Now what this is a what sold on eBay video. So why do we do these? Well, if you're new to eBay, or maybe if you're not new to eBay, you don't want to waste your time, money, and resources sourcing items that just don't sell. You want the quick flip, or you want a good return on your investment or your ROI, and you want to know what actually sells. Now a lot of people make what sold on eBay videos. I'm a little bit different. So I tell you where I sourced the item, what I paid for it, what it sold for, how it shipped, and 2 new features. Did I use promoted listings or a sales promotion? And would I recommend you buy this too? So it's kind of new for my channel. Real quick, let's talk about the eBay glitch of the week. Now I know a lot of people, including Joey, like to pick on eBay because they seem to have all kinds of glitches and problems. They roll out changes, but then they don't fix the glitches. It's just crazy. But this is just another glitch. So really quick, I sold a socket to a person on eBay. And if you don't know, socket wrenches have removable and interchangeable sockets that you use to remove bolts and nuts and things like that. I'll put a picture up here on the screen somewhere. The guy bought it, and if you didn't know, you can buy stuff on eBay without paying for it. It's really strange, but he bought it, and then I waited for payment, and about a day or 2 went by and nothing. So I sent him a message and said, hey, as soon as you pay for it, I'll be happy to ship it to you. Golden rule, you never ship an item that you're selling until somebody pays for it. A few more days went by, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? I go to my dashboard on the eBay website, I go to sold items, and I scroll down, and I'm gonna show you screenshots of all this stuff too. And there's a little suggestion for the little drop-down menu, and eBay suggested to me to send this buyer an invoice. Now I've done this before. It's a little stronger language than just a message saying, hey, pay for your thing. This is an actual invoice that itemizes what they bought, what the shipping is, and that you expect payment. So, like a good eBay seller, I clicked on send invoice. Now, before I show you what happened, the super glitch, I want to show you the category. So this is a socket, it's a hand tool. And the category I'm going to show down below, covering up my big belly here. Here's the category. It's eBay motors, blah, 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 socket and socket sets, or socket wrench and sockets, whatever. You can see it down there on the screen. So eBay knows that this is a hand tool, okay? So when I click on send invoice, I get this error message. eBay says you can't send an invoice on automobiles. Come on, man. Come on, man. eBay, for one, you know it's not an automobile. Just because the category starts in eBay motors, eBay knows it ends in sockets and socket wrenches. eBay knows that. 2, eBay offered to send an invoice in the drop-down menu options. So eBay's like goading me, saying, hey, Mr. Seller, here's an option, send this guy an invoice. But then turns around and tells me I can't because I'm selling a car. It makes you want to pull your hair out. I got a good amount of hair left. eBay, what's going on? This is probably an old glitch, and it's just low priority because it's not a big deal to them. But come on, man, it's just one thing after another. So that's my eBay glitch of the week. And I'm going to keep bringing you eBay glitches like this because it's educational. And hopefully eBay will fix these things. All right, so first item I sold was vintage tobacco cards, also called cigarette cards. And I didn't explain this real well the last what sold on eBay videos. But these are little tiny cards. It's like almost a third of a trading card, like a baseball card. And these came out in the turn of the century, 19 teens, 1920s, 1930s. These were put in cigarette packs to help stiffen them, because you could just take the pack and you could bend it really easy. A lot of people just pulled these little cards out, were printed with like birds, butterflies, plants, flags of the world, royalty of the world, and they would look at it and think it's kind of cool, and they'd throw it away. Some people collected them and saved them. They thought they were kind of neat, or they just gave them to a little kid or something like that. Well, fast forward to today, and people do collect these. A lot of times these tobacco companies would have a whole series, like series of 25, 50, 108, dogs, bridges, castles of the United Kingdom, all kinds of stuff. So people collect them like they collect everything else. Well, I went to this vintage toy auction in Barry County. I might link that video down below. It was massive. I filled my car to the ceiling full of vintage model railroad cars and buildings, and that $6 million man you saw in the intro, all kinds of stuff. $200 just filled my car. Well, part of it was 4 3-ring binders full of these tobacco cards. And some of them were small albums, some of them were in holders. And as long as the set was complete, I'd take pictures, I'd list it online. Some of the sets aren't worth that much money, maybe 15, 20 bucks. Some of them are worth a lot, 50, 60, 100 bucks. So it all depends on the subject and the rarity. The other factor that's important is the condition. I've seen some tobacco cards in horrible condition, stained, creases, bent, dirty. Mine are like near mint condition, and I don't recommend you use that phrase near mint very often to describe an item unless it really does look like brand new. But these are from like the 1918s, 1920s, and they look really, really good. So I put almost near mint or looks near mint. I try not to make a conclusion or a judgment. Let people do that themselves by looking at the photos. Cost of goods, $2.19. I had this listed for $59.95. I took a best offer of $50. Free first class shipping because it was only about 5 ounces. This was part of a 20% off promotional sale because I put my whole eBay store on sale. So the price really came down a lot. I think that helped it sell. And would I recommend it? Absolutely yes. If you find tobacco cards or cigarette cards in the wild that are in really good condition, I highly recommend them. If you get the complete set, big thumbs up on that. Next, I'm going to butcher this name. Next is Jabra Bluetooth headset. I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter if I don't know what it is because it's brand new in the box. Has a UPC code and a serial number. I can just look it up and research it. This was free to me, sold very quickly, $39.95, and free first class shipping again because it's really light. It came in at like 7 ounces. Some items with a lot of competition, or if it's really light, I recommend you consider free first class shipping if you know what you're doing and you're experienced, because you can work the cost in to the item, your cost of goods, and still make a decent profit. This was not promoted and it was not part of a sale. I do recommend this if you can get it cheap. Next is the Plasticville Cape Cod Plastic House. Cost of goods $1.87. This is part of that vintage toy lot. Sold cheap, $7.96 because it was 20% off as part of that sale. Why so cheap? Well, because it's broken and it's dirty. So I put in the description barn find because it really is a barn find. I didn't bother cleaning it. It's got glue residue on it. I'm like, you know what? Why spend hours and hours and hours cleaning it if it's already broken to get $12? I'm just going to list it as it is, let somebody else deal with it. These have been selling like crazy overseas. They just love Americana. They'll clean it up, they'll remove the glue residue and the dust and the dirt, and they'll make it work and glue it together for their little diorama or their little model train setup, whatever they have, and they're thrilled. I charged a flat $3 first class shipping, not free shipping, not calculated. It's kind of in the middle. This is a repeat customer. I love me a repeat customer. I would recommend this even in poor condition if you can get it pretty cheap. Now, my return on investment wasn't that great. Not a big profit, but it's a repeat customer. So these guys will come back and they'll buy my higher priced items or my higher quality items in the future. Another Plasticville item, $1.87 cost of goods. This is like a ranch style house. Same situation, dirty, dusty, broken, glue residue, still part of, I sourced it from that vintage toy auction. Same buyer as the previous one, $14.95 flat, $3 first class shipping. They both, you know, they're disassembled, so they're flat, so they fit in the same box easily, no problem. I sold my first lobby card. Woo woo, woo woo. The movie is The Mystifiers, and if you don't know what a lobby card is, back in the day, 40s, 50s, maybe the 60s, movie theaters would advertise upcoming movies, not just with movie posters in the lobby, but these little cardboard, not even cardboard, hard stock or heavy stock paper, they call them lobby cards, and they would go in the glass, like in a window display to the street, or in the glass case where you bought concessions and popcorn and stuff like that. Just a way of advertising, but they are collectible, and a lot of movie theaters, they just either sent them back to the movie studio or they threw them away. Cost of goods is $3.33. I bought 25 of these from Brian Davis, Mr. Buys a Lot, and I believe it was his YouTube live auction. Sold for $23.96, part of the 20% off sale that I had my whole store on. Free first class shipping because it's only 6 ounces. Would I recommend this? Probably not, because it takes a very long time to sell. These are called long tail items. Me personally, I'm trying to downsize my inventory. I'm trying to source items that are quick flips that'll sell really fast. Now these movie lobby cards, they'll eventually sell. They don't take up too much space, but they have to be in very good condition, which they are from Brian Davis, but they just take a very, very long time. These 25 will probably take me 2 years to sell. Now for you, it might be different. If you have higher feedback, say you got 10,000 feedback, you offer free shipping, you might sell them a little quicker, but I'm top rated plus. I promote items, I don't promote items, and these just sell very slow. So Don the auction professor, he doesn't care how long they take. He lists them, puts them in a drawer somewhere, and if they take 5 years, who cares? I'm at the other end of the spectrum. I just want to move things quicker. So do I recommend them? I give that a maybe. Next item is Mary Kay lotion. I sold 2 of these to the same customer. This is not technically a flip. This is Mrs. Midwest personal inventory. We just want to get our money back. So cost of goods is high. $5.50. They sold for $10.36 and $11.66 when in the same box. Part of a 20% off sale for my whole store. Again, free first class shipping, gets more attention that way. Do I recommend it? Sure, if you can get them really, really cheap, I recommend it. Next is a model car kit called the Bed Buggy by George Barris. This is very rare. I don't know if I call it a toy, but it's a car model in the original box, but it's been assembled. Some parts might be missing. So it's considered used and for parts of repair only, because I can't guarantee everything is there. But this is kind of a unicorn and it's very hard to find, so it's still sold very well. I bought this at a YouTube live auction, again from Brian Davis, Mr. Buys a Lot. Cost of goods was $11, but this baby sold for $59.95. Full asking price, not promoted, and no sales. And I used free first class shipping because again it's super lightweight and my return on investment is pretty good. Would I recommend it? Highly recommended, but you got to be careful. If you see this at a flea market, garage sale, estate sale, open up the lid, look inside. Most of the parts have to be there at least, but you know, Aurora models of movie monsters like Frankenstein and Creature from the Black Lagoon, George Barris cars, those are very, very rare and hard to find. If you've never seen a particular model before, when you see it out in the wild, it's probably rare. I'd recommend picking it up if you could get it fairly cheap. Here's an example I'm going to put up here on the screen that's better than mine. I think it was new unbuilt, very vintage, very valuable. Here's a movie poster, Amazing Grace and Chuck. Cost of goods $4. Again, sourced it from Brian Davis, Mr. Buys a Lot. These posters are in fantastic condition, so if you ever think of buying movie posters from Brian Davis, I recommend it because they're in very good condition. No tears, rips, stains, you know, tape marks or nothing like that. Now every once in a while you'll get one that might have a little bit of a tear, a little bit of a pinhole, but the grade or the condition typically are very, very good. If I didn't mention cost of goods, $4. Sold for $15.96, part of a 20% off sale for the entire store. Shipping is first class. I can't remember if it was free or not. You'll have to look at the picture on the screen. This sold through the global shipping program, and I keep preaching this. If you don't sell international, you're missing out on opportunities for sales. The easiest way is global shipping program. A little bit more complicated is direct international, but you know, that's not so hard either. Do I recommend it? Yes, I do, if you're okay with long tail items. Another set of vintage tobacco cards. This is a bigger set. Cost of goods, again, $2.17. This is a set of 50. Sold for $63.96. Again, part of the 20% off sale I had in my store. That's not bad with a cost of goods of $2. This shipped free first class shipping, again, because it's very light and I know what the cost is going to be for me. Highly recommend it again. So as a side note, it appears that putting my entire eBay store 20% off really kick-started my sales. All right, this is what you've been waiting for, Dave. What are you talking about? How did you hit a home run? This is it. This is my big, big home run, baby. Now this is a mouthful, so I have to read from a script. Vintage car accessory Uncle Sam flag holder radiator cap mounted. What the heck is that? I know what you're thinking. What is that? Well, that vintage toy auction I was telling you about, where I got all these model trains and buildings and just stuff. Well, the auctioneer was getting frustrated and he was making piles, which I really love when they get frustrated because they just want to move along. Well, he was making piles of these plastic buildings in Ziploc bags that were all unassembled and just miscellaneous junk. And one of the piles had these 4 skinny white boxes with like flags sticking out of them. He didn't know what they were. I didn't know what they were. He just added it to a pile. I got the whole pile for like $7, and it was miscellaneous stuff. I put it in a blue tote, sat here in the eBay office for months, and I never even looked at it. Well, one day I was thinking to myself, you know, Lonnie Garage Flip said you can't sell it if you don't list it. So I started going through my ephemera that I got from that sale. Found some, you know, poison labels, and found some little tins for little patent medicine, and then those 4 skinny little boxes. So I opened it up and I pulled out a flag. And I thought, oh, that's kind of weird. It's a 48-star flag. Then I pulled out this Uncle Sam, which is kind of like fiberboard, almost like balsa wood, with Uncle Sam painted on both sides. And at the bottom of the box was this manila envelope with clamps and hardware. No idea what this thing was. I thought, is it a whirligig? No, it's not a whirligig. Where do you clamp it? What is it for? I don't know. So I used Google Lens, took a picture of it, and the only thing that came up were plastic Uncle Sams that you can get from Dollar General. Some were inflatable Uncle Sams, nothing like what I had. So I just kept trying, and I kept searching, looking on eBay solds and Google Lens. Eventually I found one identical to mine, and it was nasty. It was all dirty, a little bit of damage. The hardware was exactly the same. The art on it was almost identical. It sold at auction for $411. I almost fell out of this ugly office chair onto the floor. $411, and mine is brand new in the box. Holy cow. So I did some research. Apparently, older cars, Model A's, Model T's, in any car, doesn't have to be a Ford, but the radiator would often stick out of the hood on top, big round thing. And for parades, and car collectors would like to drive their cars in parades, you could buy accessories and mount them to that radiator that sticks out of the top. And apparently, in the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, you could buy these little Uncle Sams and you could clamp them to your radiator, and he held a flag, and you drive it around in parade. You wouldn't drive down the road very quickly. I'm thinking it's for parades. I had no idea these even existed. I had no idea they were rare, but mine was in perfect condition. Now the dirty one that sold for $411 might be much older. That might be, you know, 1920s. Mine might be 1940s. I don't know. So I listed it as an auction, and it went bananas. Within hours, I was getting views, I was getting watches. I listed it starting out $59.95. What's my cost of goods? Less than $1. So immediately I get a message from a customer, potential buyer, asking me if I would do a buy it now. So when that happens, if you list a hot unicorn as an auction and you immediately get messages and watchers, you know you have something good. I do not recommend ever taking an offer unless you need the money or you're very savvy and you know what it's worth. I had no clue what this was worth, so I just apologized and said, I'm sorry, I don't have offers turned on. This is just an auction only. And then he ended up bidding. So without using promoted listings, which you can do for auctions, this ended up with 23 watchers. I don't know how many views. It sold for $227. Woo! Cost of goods, I don't know, 20 cents, 40 cents, I have no idea, but I was thrilled. I did a flat $3 first class shipping. I could have charged $5, they don't care. But I wrapped it, in a mile of bubble wrap, put it in a nice big box. Don't ever put anything like this in a padded envelope or a padded mailer. Oh my gosh. This is vintagey, it's fragile, it deserves a box. So bubble wrapped it, put it in a box with shipping peanuts all around it, a packing slip with a big thank you on there, and got a great positive feedback for this. The guy loves it. Now, why mine was brand new and spotless and the other one was all dirty and went for more, I'm not sure. I'm not a car expert. I'm thinking mine might have been manufactured in the 40s or 50s. I don't know. But that little manila envelope with the hardware, it said like Classic Clamp Company, and it was very old-fashioned print on that envelope. So I know it's vintage and I know it's old. I just don't know how old. Next item is an SK socket. This is the one that created the eBay glitch. Big sockets do sell for good money. This is a big honker. I don't know where I got that from, but it's big. Cost of goods $3. It's a tad high for a socket, but it sold for $14.50 plus first class shipping on top. Make sure you weigh these before you list them and make sure they come in under a pound because they're so big they are quite heavy. I believe with the box and some void fill, this was close to 14 or 15 ounces. No promotions, no sales, just sold, and highly recommended if you can find them at a reasonable price. Of course, I would prefer an entire complete socket set with the original packaging in the box, but if you can find individual sockets that are huge and made in the USA, they're highly desirable. Forgot to mention I sourced this from a flea market. All right, here we go again. Uncle Sam, round two.
Way back, he looks up. You can put it on the board.
So if you don't know, when you have an auction and you have multiple bids and people going crazy and auction fever and they're fighting over it, if you have more than just one, let's say you have like 3 identical items, like I do, you can send a second chance offer. So after the auction was over, eBay adds, like remember I said on the on my seller hub, I go to sold items, scroll down, it shows the Uncle Sam that I sold at auction, and then they added a feature to the drop down menu, and that's second chance offer. So people that bid below the winning bid, I can contact them and say, hey, I got another one identical to the one you lost, and your bid was $223. If you want it, you got 3 days to decide. I'll sell it to you for your bid of $223. That's exactly what I did, and man, he jumped on that in 5 minutes and it sold. Actually, $225 was his bid. So I sold 2 of those things to 2 different people, $452. Cost of goods, I don't know, Joey, what do you think, 60 cents into $452? Do I recommend that? Highly recommend that. Next is the vintage uncut roll of poison bottle labels. Now this is part of that vintage toy auction. I mentioned the guy was bundling stuff and moving stuff. There was a little pile of ephemera. I won that for, I don't know, $10, $8, something like that, sitting in the bottom of this blue tote. Didn't give it much thought, but then I thought, you know what, it's not gonna sell if I don't list it, so I gotta list it. I did try selling it as an auction with a high starting price of like $59.95, $69.95, and I didn't get any bids. So I relisted it as a buy it now. Actually, I take that back. I listed it much higher, and you'll see that in the picture, I believe. Maybe $129, I don't know. But it was on sale, 20% off. So it was listed with 20% off, $116. Then somebody sent me an offer of $75. Now this is a life lesson from Midwest Picker. Cost of goods less than $1. What is this thing worth? Here's the sticking point. There are none other on eBay. Not sold, not listed, not Terapeak. There is no complete roll of uncut poison label bottles of this exact label. Now there are other ones. No. Go, Max, my dog wants to be part of the video. Yet. So there are other poison labels. I don't even know where I was. There are other poison labels identical to this one that are cut. Lots of 12, lots of 36. I couldn't find a complete roll that was uncut. So that's very unique and very strange. That makes it hard to determine the value because there are none. So either there are none because nobody wants it, or there are none because it's so entirely rare. So in either case, list it very, very high. You can always come down. So I listed it really super high. And somebody came along and offered me 75 bucks. It was the only offer. I thought, you know what? 20 cents into $75. Why would I say no to that? So I accepted the offer. Now I did think about it. I said, I have no idea how many labels are on this roll. 300, 500, I don't know. I did for 1 second think I could get a pair of scissors and I could cut these off the roll and sell them in lots of 36, lots of 24, lots of 12. People do that with some poison labels, but you know what? I thought, I don't want to do that. It's going to take forever to sell those. I'm just going to sell the whole roll and let somebody else deal with it. Forgot to mention this sold first class shipping. I forgot to check to see if I charged shipping or not. I don't know. It went in a little 6x4x4 box. Super inexpensive, less than $4 to ship. Would I recommend it? If you can get it cheap, sure. If it's uncut roll or an envelope with 50 or 60 in them and you can get it really cheap, yes, I do recommend them. Unused poison bottle labels. Now for the fun of it, I did put a poll on my YouTube channel. So if you go to my YouTube channel landing page and go to the community tab, I put a poll on there about this roll of poison labels. And I posed the question, what would you do? Would you sell the roll intact? Would you cut it and sell it in lots of 12, lots of 36? Or would you get a bunch of old little bottles and cut them and use adhesive and glue them to the bottles and sell them as poison bottles? There's lots of things you could do. Well, the results are in. I got 11 votes. 100% of the votes said, Dave, I would have just sold the whole roll like you did. So I guess I did the right thing. So that's the video, guys. I hope you liked it. Give it a big thumbs up. If you know anybody that's new to reselling, that this information is helpful, please hit that share button right down below this video and share it with somebody. I have how-to videos, mostly eBay how-to list, how to source, how to ship, how to take photos, how to determine your platform. I also have a whole playlist of sourcing videos and videos like this, what sold on eBay videos. So hit the share button, send that out. I know there's a lot of people that are looking for side hustles, looking for ways to make money from home. This is not easy and you will not get rich. It takes a lot of work, but if Joey can do it, anybody can do it. So that's it, guys. Until next time, see ya.